Yes, I know, this video sounds a little bit like a contradiction since it's a super long-term review of the Razer Lancehead on one hand, and on the other hand noticeably shorter than my other reviews with less details. But that is just because after having used this for 9 months as my daily driver, I want to give you the information, and only the information that you really need to base your decision on if you want to buy it or not. And that starts with the price. Because back when I got it at the end of last year, it was at around 150 euros. But now it's down to 99, which definitely sounds way more affordable. If you want the wired tournament edition, you can get that one for 70 euros by now to get rid of this cable, at least in this case, which looks a little bit odd here, but once you actually plug it in, as you can see here, it just looks like any other mouse. Obviously, if you use it with the cable, you can use it like a wired mouse, but it obviously is there for charging it once you want to use it wireless. Here below this, we have place to store the dongle, if you want to have it on the go, the switch to turn it on and off, and reset. Now, I could talk about the lighting right now, but I'm not going to. Yes, we have RGB lighting all around with the wheel, which is super nice to see, but the reason why I'm not going into it, as nice as it is, in normal use with the lighting, I get at least a day of use with it, maybe 1.5 days. But turning it off and having it just like this, I get at least 3 if not 4 days. For me, in my case, that's absolutely worth the compromise. That's what I'm not really gonna talk about that. I could talk about the software now, but I'm not really sure which one, because what I've used until a little time ago was the normal Synapse software, but now there is a beta software, which to be honest actually doesn't work that stable. Sometimes it just works, sometimes it just doesn't work, but at least now for the last few weeks it seems quite stable. The great thing about the software is I just have to say that you have tons of options. RGB, you can adjust it the way you want to. You can set up macros. I like linked apps. For example, when I'm in Adobe Premiere, I have one different set of profiles for the buttons and everything else. If I go into the browser, I have a different one. If I go into the Explorer, I have a different one. So switching from one app to the other, it takes like maybe 1 or 2 seconds to adjust the profile, and that is done. For me, when I do my videos and so on, it is super handy. So in terms of software, all is still good, even though maybe not perfect. I want to now get into the build quality and the performance. Now, in terms of build quality, if I sometimes, at least at first when I noticed, when I pressed a little bit harder, I did get it a little bit too squeak, but it was nothing too concerning. And as you can see, after 9 months, it actually still looks up, holding quite well. So I'm okay with that. I also like the shape. Now my Razer Taipan that I've used as well in tandem with this one is a little bit more flat, which a little bit was something better for me. But I guess this way you can easily use it with claw or with a normal grip, works out fine for me. The buttons have a good feel. Like I said, the build quality isn't perfect. So that's why I know some people say that Razer costs too much for what you get. But I have to say, after so many months, at least on this version, the only thing I can complain about is the scroll wheel. Because like every 3rd or 4th scroll, you will hear this. Can you hear this? It kind of scratches, which is a little bit annoying. I would really wish for that not be the case, but from my Taipan, I know it can be way worse. But what I like so much about this mouse, first of all, the ergonomics, it feels great in the hand, and the amount of buttons. I get 2 on the left and 2 on the right with 2 in the middle, which is pretty much the same that my Taipan gives me, which actually is a little bit better made there because I have easier access to the side buttons. But for me, as someone who actually uses all buttons, even with the left hand, I have easy access to these 2. And on the other hand, with my ring finger, I can access the other ones. And I think a right-handed user should be able to do just that. I have the extra buttons. I have the wheel. So ergonomics and build quality, all is fine, even though maybe not perfect, but pretty close to that. Now, performance is the one thing where I'm also not super happy about it, but it gets the job done. If I would be a competitive player, I would say, and this is not if it's wired or not wired, it wouldn't be good enough. Because what I've noticed in normal use, but pretty much already in the past from all my Razer mouse or mice, is that there is a little bit of a delay, and when I do some things around in the system a little bit quicker, it seems not to be super precise. And especially in games I noticed this. And just for example, if you have seen my Pulsefire Search review from HyperX, I said there that the precision was way better and was significantly better. But I still also said that at the end I decided to go for this one because this one just works better for me. And this is what is my final conclusion. It really comes down to what works best for you. For me, even though just in terms of performance, in terms of precision, and some smaller things, even though I'm not a gamer, I notice it not being all that great. It makes up for it with functionality, good design, decent build quality, and wireless, good battery life, because 4 days or so is absolutely fine. And that's why it's still my weapon of choice after so many months. Okay, that's it. Until next time, bye.